What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Blue in the Bronx YouTube channel. Please hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Also, share this out. Helps out a lot. A lot of Giants content creators making videos. Season is getting closer by the day. And just sharing it out helps out, and it gets more Giants fans here. You could discuss with them in the comments and live chats as well. So I'm back after a few days on vacation in Florida. I went to Hollywood Beach, went to Miami a little bit, went to Hollandale. Maybe if you can tell or not. I don't know how good the camera quality is, but I got a little color. Anyway, back to scheduling and the video content, of course. So today's Friday. This is the day, the 53-man roster, prediction, projection, whatever word you want to use, means the same thing. So today's Friday. Saturday, tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Donald Stewart's going to come on with me in the first half of the show, talk about the Bengals game. And then, second half of the show, it's most likely going to be my brother, who has the same knowledge and probably even better knowledge than some of these Jets content creators. I wrote to a few of them, and none of them responded. So Luke is going to come on and talk about the joint practice and then the upcoming game, which we will be attending. So there's going to be a vlog there. Nothing coming out on Sunday. But on Monday, there's going to be the vlog coming out, probably between 12 and 1 o'clock. And then we have the Boys in the Big Apple podcast, 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking Yankees because, well, they're getting better again. We're going to be talking Giants, Jets, football in general. And then we're going to be talking about the NBA as well, schedule release, KD staying in Brooklyn, all that sort of stuff. And then this video, 53-man roster, prediction, projection, once again, whatever word you'd like to use. So this is for the initial 53. This isn't for the 53 outright. The initial 53 is a 53-man roster that is set after cuts, only cuts. Waiver wire is the next day, if you guys remember. Waiver wire, trades, this, that, and the other thing. So that's where a lot of people get confused. And honestly, that's where a lot of people mess up their predictions. Last year, I didn't have Ben Bredesen or Billy Price making the roster because I didn't even know the trade was going to happen. I had Chad Slade, I think, making the roster. I had a couple different guys making the roster that actually didn't make the roster. I think David Moa was one of the guys, but it was a non-waiver thing. He just got cut and signed to the practice squad. Played in 2 games last year. And I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't want to go on an ego trip here. But in terms of accuracy, I actually have the numbers down. Last year, I was 86.8% correct. 46 out of the 53 initial guys I got correct. I had David Sills, Chad Slade, Jonathan Harrison, Kenny Wiggins, David Moe, and B.J. Hill making the roster. Meanwhile, these players made the roster for for their spots, I should say. C.J. Board, Josh Jackson, who later would be released, Ben Bredesen, Billy Price, who was traded for, Sam Beal, who would later be released, and then Dante Pettis. And then the year before that, I don't have my 2019 stats, but I have my 2020 stats. I had these players making the roster. Chris Williamson, David Sills, Benjamin Victor, and Josiah Tauefa. These players actually made the roster, not the ones I just mentioned. C.J. Board, Chad Slade, and Carter Coughlin. So there are your guys right there. Also Isaac Yadam, who we traded for late. So that's the accuracy. Also, that accuracy, 92.4%. So I only got 4 players wrong. Anyway, back to the stuff. Let's get right to the offense. We'll make this as short and simple as possible. So the quarterback room stays in 2 like it has in the past couple of years. You have Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor. Davis Webb probably on the practice squad like he has been of the Jets, like he has been of the Bills. He's probably going to act as a coach and just a replacement QB, kind of like a Josh McCown. That's probably his career path, honestly, from now until he retires and maybe after his NFL life, whatever. But Davis Webb will probably stay on the practice squad if Jones or Taylor gets hurt. He can get activated And also there's the 55-man roster, which is before game day. You can get a chance to protect 4 players and then activate 2 of them for game day. That just also means you have to put 2 more inactives. Anyway, in terms of the running backs, Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, Antonio Williams, and Gary Brightwell. Brightwell has shown some burst, even though he didn't play in the last preseason game. He's shown some burst, and I've kind of changed my philosophy on him. I thought that the Joe Judge staff kind of ruined him a little bit, and I don't want to make excuses for the guy, but they tried turning him into a straight-up runner, north-south. Meanwhile, he can go a little side-to-side. Anyway, Antonio Williams, he's flashed a lot as a pass catcher, as a just straight-up bruiser running back. So that's why he makes the roster, in my opinion. Matt Breida has not had game experience, but I think the coaching staff likes him, and I think he would be a good complement when healthy to Saquon Barkley. And, of course, Saquon Barkley. Wide receivers, Kenny Galladay, Kadarius Toney, Wan'Dale Robinson, Sterling Shepard, David Sills, Richie James, and Darius Slayton. Galladay, Toney, Robinson, Shepard, they're all make-its, however you want to piece it. David Sills has developed a good rapport with Daniel Jones over the last few years, and it's really showing in this preseason. That's why I think he will make the roster, because is he going to be a number 1 wide receiver in this offense? Of course not. But if Daniel Jones has a good rapport with him, why not keep him, right? You can keep like 5, 6, 7 wideouts. Richie James, I think, is going to be on the team mostly for special teams purposes. Also, just in case Kadarius Toney gets hurt or Sterling Shepard gets hurt, because you can easily piece him in there. And the Giants need some good depth at wide receiver, where the offense is just not missing a beat when a wide receiver goes out. So kicking, kick returns, punt returns, he's got that, and also just a quick wide receiver, not like a CJ Board where he only offers so much, and he even fumbled in the Bengals preseason game, so that's not good. Darius Slayton, he is a guy that actually may not be on the roster after the waiver wire. The Giants may either cut him, or they possibly might just outright trade him to a different team for like a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick. So there's something to watch right there. And it's going to be really weird, and a lot of Giant fans may not like it, because a lot of Giant fans, and I feel that wide receiver depth is key, and Darius Slayton is a little bit more trustworthy than a David Sills, than an Alex Bachman, than a CJ Board. So tight ends, Daniel Bellinger, Chris Myrick, and Tanner Hudson. Giants obviously picked Bellinger. Chris Myrick has shown some stuff as a blocker, not necessarily as a receiving tight end, but as a blocker. And with the depth at the tight end position being extremely scarce, he's going to make the roster. Tanner Hudson, they just signed him from Tampa Bay. Actually, they signed him for the 49ers. He was with Tampa Bay for a few years as a 3 tight end, as a 4 tight end, and a practice squad guy on occasion. But he'll be there as their 3 tight end because they need veteran experience. And Austin Allen doesn't really give you that. They'll probably end up sneaking Austin Allen on the practice squad if any team does not take him, which honestly would catch me by surprise. So there are your 3 tight ends. Your offensive line, Andrew Thomas, Shane Lemieux, John Feliciano, Mark Lewinsky, and Evan Neal. Those are your guys that are going to make it. They are the starting 5. Josh Azudu, Devery Hamilton, Ben Bredesen, and Jamil Douglas are your backups. Now, Josh Azudu, in my opinion, is the only lock after the waiver wire, because Devery Hamilton could get cut, right? Saw a couple of years ago where Alonzo Russell, he was great in the preseason for the New York Giants, and he got cut after the waiver wire because they wanted to add Cody Core. So there's a move that it's kind of a precedental move where, Devery Hamilton's not even a lock. He's impressed, but if they find somebody better with veteran experience, it's a definitely possibility that he just does not make it onto the 53-man after the waiver wire. Ben Bredesen could be the same situation along with Jamil Douglas. Now, Jamil Douglas could make the roster because for some reason the coaching staff really likes him. I just don't see it. And we'll go over cuts later, so if you guys have any clarifications, just let me know. So we're going to go into the defense and special teams. The defensive line, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, Jalen Holmes, DJ Davidson, and Justin Ellis. Now, DJ Davidson, they may actually just keep him in an active spot, few games, and let him grow a little bit because he has struggled a little bit where he's gotten eaten up by the offensive line at times in the run and in the pass. So he could be inactive for the first few games, and he's got placeholders, Justin Ellis and Jalen Holmes. Holmes has played with the ones for most of training camp and in the preseason for times that Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence aren't there. So, in my opinion, I think Holmes makes the roster. I think Ellis makes the roster. Inside linebackers, Giants are a bit short in that area. Blake Martinez, Micah McFadden, Tate Crowder, and Carter Coughlin. The top three are make-its. Carter Coughlin, a lot of people don't think he's going to make the roster, but now with the Darian Beavers injury, it kind of opens up some things for the New York Giants. Now, once again, in my opinion, he could be a guy like Ben Bredeson, Devery Hamilton, Jamil Douglas, David Sills maybe, or Darius Slayton that does not stay after the waiver wire if they find somebody different. If somebody has more of a skill set and they're available, the New York Giants will take them and cut Carter Coughlin. It's definitely a possibility. Outside linebackers, Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, Ellerson Smith, Quincy Roche, and Jihad Ward. We don't know if Kayvon's going to play week 1. I'm going to say no for right now. Azeez Ojulari had the calf issue. It can come back and bite you, but for right now, he should play week 1. Ellerson Smith, Quincy Roche, Jihad Ward. I think Roche will end up making it. I kind of put some bias into this one because he's been the best out of the edges this entire preseason. If you're looking at some of the backup guys, Ellerson Smith played one game, didn't really show up on the tape. Roche's been making the most impact out of all of them. Zimenez is not cutting it. Tamon Fox isn't necessarily cutting it other than the big hit. But other than that, those are your 5 outside linebackers. Your secondary, Adoree Jackson, Cordell Flott, Aaron Robinson, Darnay Holmes, Rodarius Williams, Khalil Dorsey, Julian Love, Xavier McKinney, Trenton Thompson, Dane Belton, Andrew Adams. A lot of toss-ups with the secondary. Trenton Thompson is definitely one because, in my opinion, he's played better, and he is better, in my personal opinion, once again, than a guy like Yusuf Corker. I don't think Corker's shown a lot. Trenton Thompson has a sack, and, well, he's got more of a skill set. He can go on special teams, and he can also cover. So he's also a toss-up guy when it comes to, is he going to stay after the waiver wire? Khalil Dorsey, you can apply the same thing. I think he's been decent as a slot corner. His name hasn't been called out too much. He also has a sack. So DB blitzing, right? They want as many cornerbacks as possible. Cordell Flott make it. Darnay Holmes makes it. Rodarius Williams is also another guy. He can play man coverage. He's coming off an ACL, though. And with that being said, it's a tough toss-up there because he only played 5 games last year before tearing his ACL. So he could be a guy that gets cut after the waiver wire. But I think he'll make the initial 53. Then you got your special teams with Graham Gano, Jamie Gillen, and Casey Kreider. So here are the guys that are getting cut. Now, all of them are actually practice squad eligible because of the new rule that was implemented a few years ago. You get to keep a certain handful of guys that are veterans across the league. And, of course, as I mentioned before, and if I haven't mentioned before, I'll mention it again, the 55-man roster rule on game day, where you get to activate 2 more guys to the active roster, but the day before, you also have to protect 4 guys in order for that to happen. Well, the maximum is 4. You can also just protect 2 or 3 if you like. So here are the cuts. Davis Webb, Deshaun Corbin, Sandra Platzgummer, Alex Bachman, CJ Board, Jalen Moore, Keelan Doss, Austin Allen, Will Holden, Roy Mbeteka, Josh Rivas, Eric Smith, Garrett McGinn, Max Garcia, David Moa, Nick Williams, Ryder Anderson, Austin Calitro, Tamon Fox, Ocean Zimenez, Yusuf Corker, Nate Metters, Elijah Griffin, Harrison Hand, Zion Gilbert, and Darren Evans. So with that being said, guys, if you haven't already, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Peace out, guys. See you later. Stay cool. Watch for the content over the next few days, and as always, go Giants.